Good morning. Today is a great day today on two fronts. One front would be that this today represents the first day of the last week of school. But also, today is a day in which we look to celebrate our boys, the 2013 boys state track runner-up team. Give it up for those guys. Mr. Hudgens, we are here to celebrate. We are here to celebrate because that is a remarkable accomplishment. But we want to be respectful at all times, but we do want to endorse our approval for their hard work over the course of this track season. These young men sitting before us today had a dual record of four wins, 2 losses. They had a regional runner-up process as well as the state championship runner-up this past Saturday at Forest Hills Eastern. We have about a 30-minute program for you today. We have some distinguished guests with us that I would like to introduce. We have with us our Superintendent of Schools, Ms. Teresa Weather O'Neill. We have our Board President, Dr. Wendy Falk. We have our Executive Director of High Schools and Alternative Schools, Mr. Ron Gorman. And with us we have Mr. Johnson, our Executive Director of Athletics. In addition to that, we also have Mr. Larry Johnson that will be joining us today. He is Assistant Superintendent of Schools and Executive Director of Public Safety. Mr. Harris is going to be the facilitator of this process, which is the Director of Athletics for Ottawa Hills. Give him a hand. He is going to join me at the podium at this time, and he is going to set the purpose for why we are here today. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, staff, students, for joining us for this wonderful, wonderful occasion. As Mr. Lewis mentioned, we're here to celebrate our boys track team who finished state runner-up, our best finish since 1951 when Ottawa Hills won the boys state championship. So this is a very, very huge accomplishment for our boys track team. So let's give them a big hand. Also, I want to introduce all of our track coaches and student athletes on the boys track team at this time. Head coach, Coach Tony Shellman. Assistant coach, Coach Albert Logwood. Assistant coach, Charlotta King. And assistant coach, Xavier Carranza. And assistant coach, Matthew Burley. Christian Burley. The coaches did an outstanding job with all of our student athletes this year in track. Now we're going to give a hand for all of our boys track team members, starting off with Giovanni Hernandez. Quentin Pulley. Nathan Sherman. Daryl Matlock. Rashard Bivens. Leroy Rosa. Sean Nealon. Timothy Harris. Devin McKinney. Davon McKinney. Teelan Avery, Samuel Bill, Jaguna, Gregory Tyson, Assad Jones, Charles Weisinger, Cameron Brown, Kennedy Anderson II, Javon Wallace, Rajaman Watkins, Keyshawn Wilkerson, Elijah Townsend, and Gregory Epps. Let's give another hand for our 2013 state runner-up boys track team. And now I'm going to turn it over to our Board of Education President, Dr. Fobb.
I just want to say a quick congratulations. This was fantastic news to hear, and I'm glad to be here representing the board and giving you my personal congratulations.
Good morning. I just wanted to not only congratulate the track team, what an awesome job you did. Thank you for representing Ottawa Hills High School as well as the Grand Rapids Public Schools. But I want to give a special thanks to your coaches, to Mr. Johnson, to Mr. Harris, so many of the volunteers, parents. I know that it took a lot for you to come out to support for the entire season, but thank you to the teachers and the students. The last thing I want to share is I asked everyone at the beginning of this year to act like a winner, to think like a winner, and to behave like a winner. And I just want you to know that Ottawa Hills High School track team, you finished like a winner. Good job.
Now we're going to have a few words from our Executive Director of K-12 Athletics, we're going to have a few words from Executive Director of High Schools, Mr. Ron Gorman. Thank you.
Good morning, Ottawa Hills. So, in my previous role, I was the principal at Creston High School, and Mr. Johnson was a principal at Creston High School, but one thing I can say, at my time at Creston, I was not fortunate enough to have hardware like that that's on that table. So you need to be very proud of yourselves this morning for this accomplishment. And gentlemen, look at me. 1951? 1950, what took you so long? Right? Seniors, will you raise your hands, please? Seniors. Okay, so the seniors here, what I want to thank you for is this strong foundation. Seniors. If you're not a senior, raise your hand. So what I'm pretty good at using context clues and inferences. I see that we have many students here who are not leaving us next year, correct? What are we going to do next year? What are we going to do next year? The best is yet to come, and I don't think we will have to wait over 60 years for the next piece of hardware. Am I correct? Absolutely. I would like to thank Mr. Lewis, the building principal, for his leadership. Absolutely. Mr. Johnson, our city athletic director, because without you, Mr. Johnson, without your vision, this would not be possible. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Marcus Harris, our athletic director. Thank you so much, Mr. Harris. And then lastly, Coach Shellman. Don't you go anywhere, sir. We need you, right? And for the students at Ottawa Hills, we have exams this week, correct? I know you will all do wonderfully. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman. Now we're going to turn over to our Executive Director of K-12 Athletics, Mr. Kurt Johnson.
Good morning. You got to do better than that. Good morning. I'm an Ottawa Hills alumni, so we are used to celebrating and love celebrating. It gives me great honor and pleasure to be with you here this morning on this very, very special and monumental occasion. Ottawa Hills has a very special place in my heart, near and dear to my heart. I'm a graduate of Ottawa Hills. I was able to participate in a very successful track and field program here at Ottawa Hills. And through that program in Grand Rapids Public Schools, it allowed me to do some great things in my life since leaving Ottawa Hills. Traveling all over the country, actually around the world, and it all started here in Grand Rapids Public Schools. So you gotta remember that this is the best place. You are in the right time, in the right place, doing the right things. I want to say thank you to a lot of the same people as well who made this possible. I want to say thank you to the students who have represented your team, your school, the district, and your family names in an utmost exemplary way. We really thank you for that. I want to thank you to the Ottawa Hills staff who work with these students when they're not on the track, when they're in the classrooms, when they're in the hallway, when they're in the cafeteria, when they're at the bus stops. Those are a part of this as well. I want to thank you to Mr. Lewis and his leadership for Ottawa Hills, my alma mater, Ron Gorman, Executive Director of Secondary Schools, and of course the support that we receive from the Board of Education President and the Superintendent. We really thank you. We cannot do these type of things without you. We thank you. And last but not least, to all the parents who follow this team around here, there, and everywhere. We drag them here, there, and everywhere, who've been behind them every step of the way. We really thank you for that. And also, last but not least, the coaching staff, Tony Shellman and his supporting crew for coming together and really bringing to life our vision. When Coach Shellman came on board with us a couple of years ago, I was really pleased with the conversation I had with him because he knew about track and field. And I knew a lot about track and field, so the conversation I had with him, it told me that he knew what needed to happen. So I was really pleased with that. And I told him then, as well as all of the varsity coaches, there's three big things I need to happen in athletics. We need our varsity coaches to make sure our athletes were good students and good people. And as you can see, he's doing that. I asked varsity coaches to champion and lead, guide, mold, and shape our lower level, grade level programs. Coach Shellman, Coach Ebright, Dan Drosky have 800 kids out running elementary track and field. 800 kids, so that means there are plenty more years of this to come. And then lastly, I asked for Coach Shellman and the varsity coaches to make sure the kids can perform at high levels. And in the state of Michigan, it really doesn't get any higher than this. Your team has brought home a state championship title in Division II. Give them another round of applause. So as I close, one thing I want to say is, you're in the right place at the right time doing the right thing. Become a part of a winning program. There are great things happening at Ottawa Hills. The football team is one step away from a championship. Basketball team is one step away from a championship. Swimming, one step away from a championship. And now you have your varsity track and field team one step away from a championship. Give them a round of applause. Thank you.
Now, just to show you how truly wonderful and special this boys track team is and how they performed this year, Mr. Lewis shared with you a couple of the season summary as we finished 4-2 in dual meets, second in the regionals, second in the conference, second in the regionals, second in the conference by only 3 points. 3 points, so 3 points from being in first place. but also some truly wonderful student athletes this year. Teelan Avery and Sam Bill placed second and third. They placed second and third in the 100 meters. So they're the second and third fastest in the state of Michigan. So that's truly an accomplishment. Teelan Avery, can you stand up? Teelan, can you stand up? You're looking at the new Ottawa Hills 100-meter record holder, Teelan Avery right here. Teelan broke the Ottawa Hills record with a 10 seconds 60, 10:60. So that's fast. That's really fast. Also making all state, Sean Nealon placed 7th in the state. Sean, can you stand up? Sam Bill took 3rd in the 200 meter. Sam, can you stand up? Keep standing, Sam. Also, you're looking at the new 200 meter champion of Ottawa Hills. He broke the record. The 200 meter has been in existence since 1988. Also, the 100 meter has been in existence since 1988. So now their names will be in the record books at Ottawa Hills. Devon McKinney placed 2nd in the 400 meter. Ja'Cory Millbrooks placed in the 400 meter. The 400 meter relay team placed 2nd at state. This team included Sam Bill. Sam, can you stand? Charles Weisinger, Teelan Avery, and Cameron Brown. This is the 400 meter relay team placed 2nd in the state. The 800 meter relay, this is the 4x200 team. They took 1st. So you're looking at the state champions, 1st place 800 meter relay team. Consists of Sam Bill, Ja'Cory Millbrooks, Sean Nealon, and Teelan Avery. Also, you're looking at another record-breaking performance by the 800 meter relay. So they're the new 800 meter relay champs at Ottawa Hills. They won in a time of 1.28 seconds. Thank you, good job, guys. 1600 meter relay took 2nd place. Team consisted of Ja'Cory Millbrooks, Devin McKinney, Rashard Bivens, and Devon McKinney. Placed 2nd in the state. Congratulations to the 800 meter relay. I'm gonna also bring Mr. Kirk Johnson up, who has a story about that team as well.
If I could have the 4x200 meter relay team stand, the 4 men plus the alternate and the coach. Stand front and center here. Stand front and center. 32 years ago, and we have another special guest here. If Michael Brown could come up out of the audience. 32 years ago, I was a part of a state championship performance that broke the previous record. And I have a classmate who was on that relay team here, and we were the record holders for the 4x200 meter relay for 32 years. 32 years we held that record. And now we have a group of young men who come along and broke that record. So we have a special presentation for you all. I just want to read what it says. I can get it out here. It's been engraved for you. It's a necklace dog tag that says "No Limit 4x200 meter relay," and what it means, 2013. And what it means is that if you place no limits on your lives, on your thinking, on what you can do, there's no record that any one of you cannot break or set. And for this relay team, we want you to realize that this should not be the only record that you set or break. We're expecting many more, as well as each and every one of you out there. This is not isolated to just a few young men, but it's open. First place is open to anybody who wants it. So we are going to be shooting for first place from this point forward. So we want to congratulate you and your relay team. And Mike, Wright, you want to say anything about that?
Well, I am sad, but I'm also happy. That the record lasted this long, but my son is on the track team, so I guess it's okay. Right. So congratulations, guys.
Thank you all. You may be seated. Just a couple of closing remarks from myself. I was talking to Coach Hillman. He mentioned about a couple of years ago, he knew I was a part of that record-breaking relay team. He said, you know what, we're going to get that record. And every year since then, they have been coming a little closer and closer and closer. And this year, we got it. Shows what hard work and diligence and determination can actually do. We want to say a very special thank you to our community that supports athletics in Grand Rapids Public Schools, the Student Advancement Foundation. They do a lot of things for our lower level development. Give them a round of applause. Our middle school supporters, Doug and Maria DeVos and the RDV Foundation, they do a lot for the programs that these young men came through in the middle school years. So we give them a round of applause. And all of our partnerships with Grand Rapids Public Schools, Grand Valley State University does a lot of things for the athletic department. So we really appreciate all the support. We cannot do these types of things without you. And we really appreciate that you have a vision for high level of success for all students. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Can we have all the track coaches come up, please? All the track coaches. On behalf of the MHSAA, Grand Rapids Public Schools, Ottawa Hills community, we present the Ottawa Hills State Finalists Division II Runner-Up Trophy for the boys track and field team. Great job, Coach Shelby. Great job, coaches. And now we get a few words from Coach Shelby.
Put me on the spot. I just want to say thank you to everybody, administration, Mr. Harris, everybody here, student body, especially the athletes and my coaches. They stuck with me through some hard times all season, last year, a couple of years before. And also a special shout out to Mrs. Bailey. I don't know if she's here, but Mrs. Bailey always gave me encouraging words when we were down 2 years ago. So she always stuck by there, so I want to make sure I acknowledge her as a special person here for me. So Miss Bailey here, can you please stand up if she's here? If she's not, I feel bad.
She's the greatest volunteer.
She's awesome. But a couple days I want to make sure I address. We put in a lot of hard work. We had a race, a lot of mentalities. We had a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores here. And I just want to piggyback on a lot of things that Mr. Johnson said, that we don't put limits on ourselves. One of the things we do in our rule team expectations is work. We can't use that in practice. That's a mental barrier. We try to erase all mental barriers, period. So I can't, whole team, up, down, push-ups, whatever you do. But for the most part, they just put in the work. So if you put in the work, it's the results you get. And I told them 4 years ago, some freshmen and now seniors, stick with it, and you'll be up on that podium. And that's what happens.
Thank you, Coach Shelby. Can we also bring our boys track team to the center stage as well? Boys track team, can you stand up, come to center stage? On behalf of the Ottawa Hills Athletic Department, thank you, Coach Shellman, assistant coaches, thank you for all your hard work. Student athletes, thank you for all your hard work on the track and in the classroom. Thank you, administration, for supporting the Ottawa Hills Athletic Program. Dr. Fobb, Teresa Neal, Ron Gorman, Kurt Johnson, Mr. Lewis, thank you for all your help. Thank you for all the students for your support as well. Thank you, the teachers, for your support. And this is going to conclude, but again, give a round of applause for our boys track team who was really, really, really